Hello. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Christina Nelson Show. Real people who motivate, inspire, and heal. And I am here with Damian Washington, everyone.
Christina Nelson in the building. What's going on?
Oh my goodness. I'm okay. I have to get through this and I have to be.
Okay, that's right. Listen, you have a professional funny man on your program, so you are going to be laughing. Just know
Oh
that.
my goodness. Okay, that's good. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. So I'm just going to shout out to everyone who is watching so far. Thank you for joining the Christina Nelson Show. We are here, and I'm here live with Damian Washington, and we are going to talk about probably a little bit about everything. So
We're going to talk about whatever you want to talk about because I'm an open person. I am a public figure.
Okay. So, David, let's start off by you telling everyone where you're from, who you are, what do you do?
What's going on, y'all? I am Damian Washington, born and raised in New York, New York. Currently, I'm in Los Angeles, California, and I'm an actor. I'm an actor. I've sold you all products for years. I've made my living blending in until one day I stand out. That's the short little pat thing is that I would say as I'm out here on my entertainment hustle, as it were. But yeah, no, I've done a bunch of commercials, and somehow me talking to my phone about my life in general turned into me talking to my phone about my life with multiple sclerosis. And now I'm talking to you 2 years later.
So multiple sclerosis, isn't that weird? Like people look at you and they see all the laughing and the jokes and everything, but there's some real stuff going on behind the scenes here, and we want to kind of touch on that because we want to start off with the diagnosis of MS, because this is what brought us together virtually here, because MS. Wow. So, okay. So let's start off with, how did you know when something was going on?
Well, I'm typically a high energy dude. Like I outmatch people with my energy and my ability to fill a space. And during a shoot, a music video shoot, my typically easy to access high energy self was not there, and it just exhaustion, extreme exhaustion, hands and knees, sucking wind. Like, what's going on? This is automatic for the people. This is what I do. Why can't I do this right now?
Right.
Events like that, coupled with my wife, she and I have been together 20 years. And at the time, it was like about like 16 or so years. My wife was like, hey, I don't know what it is, but something's wrong with you, bro. Like, you don't hold me the same way when we walk down the street. And like I say, there's years on there. So she knows what it is.
She knows.
So between the lady and me not being able to do what I normally do, I knew something was wrong. And I started the hunt. And somewhere between 3.5 to 6 months later, I knew and was on the road to wellness with multiple sclerosis.
So you did the whole doctor, and doctor said go here, and then doctors did all these tests, and
one doctor did the thing, was like, I don't know what's wrong with you, but something's wrong with you. Go to another doctor. The doctor was like, I don't know what's wrong with you, but something's wrong with you. Go to another doctor. 2 to 4, 3 times, for about 3 times, and I was in this haze of doctors knowing various doctors, an eye doctor, of like the foot doctor, not quite the podiatrist, but the walking person. And not even my general practitioner, but it was certainly the eye doctor. I went to a hearing though too, like so various specialists,
right,
were like, I can see that there is some missing function, but I have no idea what's wrong with you.
Right.
Wow. And eventually, I get to a point where the emergency room technician that was seeing me on my sort of wife's behest, that I go in right now. That person was like, I don't know what's wrong with you, but something's clearly wrong with you. Get an MRI. And the MRI printout was like, oh, this dude's healthy, 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 healthy. Oh, also, he totally has MS. He should get a neurologist and get that checked out. Next.
Wow. Wow. Just like that, huh?
Just like that.
Oh my goodness. And so the journey began with MS. Did you know anything about MS at that time?
At the time, I knew Richard Pryor had it, and it didn't end too well for him. And I knew Montel Williams has it, but he's Montel and the champion of us all. So at the very least, I'm like, well, I at least got to be at least what the behemoth Montel is to have any piece of wellness
Right.
with this thing. Because from what one generally knows, MS is like the white lady disease. Like, well, I got the white lady disease. I'm a man and I'm black. What? So I got the Selma Blair thing. Hello, what is going on? So just learning how to thread the needle, so to speak, is why you don't want to talk to me in the first place.
Wow. So, how did your wife take it? That's the big thing, because you were already in a relationship, and that's good. And I go on these MS groups and everything, and you always see someone saying, my spouse did not take it well, or after a while they left me because they couldn't deal with it. But you were already in something. So how did she take it?
No, like I say, we've been together.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of thick. That's a lot of thin. And it's not the deal breaker. That's it.
Right. That's it, point blank. Not the deal breaker. That's good. That's awesome.
I can say so many other words around that, but the one that I just said will suffice.
Right. That's it. No, I love that. I love that about anyone who is that ride or die or ride or live, or whatever you want to say it to you when you're going through and when you're down and out, and they're the ones that right there. They're your peace, they're your joy. They're right there in the thick of it. Like you said, in the thick and the thin. They are, it's not a deal breaker to be with you, and they didn't look at you any different, or they didn't say, I can't do this. This is not, gonna work for me, So I love that about her.
Absolutely. Like, trust me, there is marital relational stuff. There's it's like man, women, things. Absolutely. That goes on day long. But as far as the sclerosis being that's not really a component of that. But no knocks on anyone who is a deal breaker for me, because it's a complex thing to deal with. And frankly, if you don't love this person enough to deal with this complex thing with them, then you should be married with them anyway. It's things that had happened now and it came out like this, but
I understand. True. Before, when I was single, believe me, I ran into some folks. I ran into some guys who were like, what is that? So you can't do certain things. You can't, oh, well, I like you. You're really nice, but, and they were out.
And that's fine. It's things that, what they say, I don't even know the proper thing, but there's a thing, a written work that talks about how this is the guest house, this body, and the spirit that blows through it and all that. We're in the guest house, bro, and somebody else's respective guest house don't want to be up in mine. Cool, it just blow through like the wind, baby.
That's it. Peace, because there will be someone,
regardless of who is in it.
That's it. I like it. So let's talk about you. We talked earlier. You say you didn't have kids, but you had a dog. And we're talking about the difference.
Look, I only have a dog because I have MS. I lived through two of my mom's cats I didn't want. I lived through two of my wife's cats I didn't want. So for, like I say, we've been together a while. So I was like, hey, look, I'm going to reserve my right to not have an animal. Hmm. That's what 6 or so years was.
Mm-hmm.
But somewhere in this diagnosis,
Mm-hmm.
um, and figuring my way up out of this not good place that the MS diagnosis had me in.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was like, oh, I want some unconditional love. You know, the only thing that's going to give you unconditional love is a dog. I love my wife. She loves me, but there's plenty conditions in this thing. So I want some unconditional love. And that's why I got the best dog there ever was. And man, I lost my train of thought. So I'm just going to let
See?
it go.
It's okay though, because I get it. Like I totally get it, and a lot of people who are watching tonight totally get it too. That
Oh,
brain
right.
fog. Okay.
Yeah, a dog ain't a baby. So people be like, "Oh, that's my dog, baby," or "I'm a dog, mom." And like, hey, come on now, the dog is a perpetual 3-year-old. So yeah, as much as that's your baby, and you right, and you giving it time and attention and stuff, you got a 3-year-old baby for 26 years. Like what? What? What's up with your baby? How long a dog live? 12 years. So you got a 3-year-old baby for 12 years, girl, child. You got to get your baby looked at and fix that. What's going on? Because that's a dog's behavior.
Yeah.
So that's where I sort of get that is my dog.
Mm-hmm. And that's it.
I enjoy him. He enjoys me.
Right.
Uh, but getting him is part of me wanting something else out of life that I didn't think I would ever want. But the MS diagnosis left me there. And his fantastic cuteness is an example of how I execute. So if it's like, oh, the only thing that's an unconditional love is a dog. So that means I'm going to need, these are the things I'm going to need. Turns out that's a ridiculously adorable dog. Now I need to find it. Oh yeah, that's mine. Now we've been talking about my dog for 10 minutes on your show.
That's okay. That's all right. It was a great conversation here. Let's talk about how you got into acting. Were you that kid who was like in every school play, who was doing all of those things? Or how did you get into acting? And how did that affect you when you were diagnosed with MS?
So my mom got me into it at a pretty early age after sort of like seeing how he reads at an early age. And she was like, oh, can you say that again, son? Yeah, no, we got it. Oh, okay, cool, thank you. And sort of having that experience a couple times has just been like, no, this is what this kid does. He's good at that. And sort of nurtured that, and went to performing arts high school and like all that stuff. So I've skipped the theater rope with the champions, and yeah, I'm a champion theater jump roper, so to speak. So I just this is what I do. This is what I do. Be myself in the author's given circumstances. And lately, the notion of talking on your phone as yourself, and in this case, the author's given circumstances is that I have multiple sclerosis, and figuring out that middle is kind of what has been the whole YouTube journey. And so, yeah, no, I was a kid actor. My first commercial, I was 15 years old. And when I went to college and met my wife and have a degree and my major and a minor, and you work the first job you can get out of college, and then you're like, well, what do I really want to do? And which is, I got to be back to performing, baby. I used to do commercials. And getting back in the game and getting back in and doing that. And so, I've done a bunch of commercials since. But now I'm definitely working on the next thing because the world is different. But that doesn't mean my dreams technically have to be.
Right. We just have to find a new venue or a new avenue to execute them.
That's it. Another way.
Hence talking to the phone, right?
Okay. Yeah, no, one of my friends who's a dude, he has a show on Netflix, and we went to the same high school at different times, but we know all of the same bones. One of we have a mutual teacher. That mutual teacher connected us because he was like, I know both of y'all. Y'all would like each other. So we like each other, and we're hanging out and kicking it and stuff. And he's like, yeah, no, I'm gonna get this thing going, got this thing going cool. But also, I got my YouTube popping, and like that's popping. Also, you need to do the YouTube, dude. I don't know what it is, but what it will be, but you need to just start talking.
Right.
I don't know what it's gonna be, but just do it. And that was about maybe a year before I started doing it. And it was when I got the spinal tap to confirm my diagnosis.
Okay.
It left me on my wife. I say 2 weeks. My wife says 12 days. Who's counting? But left me on a significant amount of bed rest. And when you can only pee and sleep for weeks,
Mhm.
you got some time to do some thinking.
Yeah.
And I just thought, I was like, yo, when I get out of this bed, I'm just gonna start the YouTube thing. I don't know what it's gonna be. It's one of the worst fears I have ever have. Just because, what am I talking about? Like, why you want to listen to me, man? Give me a script. I was more comfortable with that. But on the bed rest, I vowed to start YouTube.
Okay.
And the type of person I am, the performer I am, knows that, so how about you make what 100 something videos before you even think about quitting, before you even think about what's your next thing? Yeah, make about 100. And somewhere in video 30, I was talking about MS stuff, and that was the only video that got thousands of views.
Wow.
So I was like, all right, well, nobody, people do not watch my other content. Like 10 people watch that other content, but thousands of people watch this content. Oh, I don't want to be the MS guy, but you got to give the people what they want. And it looks like I will be the MS guy child.
Wow. Wow. So what kind of things do you do to have your peace of mind, to stay positive? Because they're talking about staying positive with MS. But so how do you, Damian Washington, with all that's going on right now, with the diagnosis, how do you keep it together? How do you stay positive?
Step one is my meditation habit, and it's not that meditation makes me happy. Meditation then teaches you how to deal with all the sensation in your body. Period. No matter what the heck where you're thinking, no matter where the breath is going. Like, nah, you just gonna be here and let that thought go, and you're gonna be here doing that half hour, 45 minutes,
Okay.
at least.
Okay.
So like sort of having that sort of habit is really sort of what has helped to not tuck in, but sort of pull back the slingshot, so to speak,
Okay.
and the things that you see online, my shows, all the things I do is the slingshot just going forward. And taking the time and making the habit to sit is part of that. It is a cornerstone of that in a way that I would not have been able to articulate to you when I started the habit a few years ago.
Okay.
What else? What's the prompt again?
What else do you do to, like, stay positive with while having that MS and COVID? And so you talked about meditation, but what else is there? Things are going slow with acting and all of that kind of stuff. So
see, that's this thing. Keeping your focus out there, yeah, you're gonna be sad, man. And that's why it's like, I'll keep my focus in here, because at the end of the day, the best use of my energy is me being my best self.
Yeah.
And my best self is not in wanting a thing.
Mm-hmm.
My best self is rooted and available for anything that's coming to it.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, excuse me, as things are sort of coming together, it's like, am I gonna start making more MS content? Am I gonna apply for this patient leader job? Am I gonna, like, those sorts of things? Like, you come to a set of space, and then you see, I close my eyes, like it's like it's you. It looks different on different people, but
Yeah.
the ability to gather oneself and then take a course of action, take a course of action that they are unfamiliar with, take a course of action that they are trying to do more consistently,
Yeah.
and etc. So that's one of my main things, that a lot of the other stuff that one can see is built on top of.
Okay. So what is going to happen once this pandemic is over? Because you're in, like, well, they say it's the epicenter of the pandemic right now in California. So you're in this, like, the thick of it. Like, what are you going to do when it's over? Are you going to go right back out there? Or you can continue with the YouTube and go more MS content? Or, what is it that you're going to do?
I'm unconcerned with what could be out there potentially. The
Okay.
only thing I'm concerned about is what is right here, right now. And I have a direction, but who knows when this is all over, and who knows what that's going to look like, and
Mm-hmm.
who, like, if you wait for outside circumstances are none of your concern.
Mm-hmm.
Your only concern is what's going on in here. And if you can cultivate that to be its most broad, you're going to be in good situations. And that's really the only thing I focus on.
Right. Wow.
Sorry, it's not a lot of stuff.
No, it's okay. It's okay, because you don't need a lot of stuff. Some people maybe are there. That's the problem, is they're just doing too much stuff, or too much focusing on too many things. And, you don't want to do that. Maybe you're just like, it's just as simple as saying, you know what, I'm just going to focus right what's going here and what's going on in here, and whatever is happening, that's it. That's it.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're a holy woman, and there is the aspect of do your work and leave the rest to God.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
That's it.
And my work is being myself in the author's given circumstances. Yeah, that's my pet thing, because it's what I do. But these days, my work is being my most authentic self as often as I possibly can, in the most digitally dynamic way I possibly can, repeatedly.
Mm-hmm.
Those are a lot of multisyllabic words, but simple. It's simple. It's not easy. And I think that gets fuzzy. All you have to do is this. All you have to do is that. Well, it's hard. It's not easy. And just because it is simple, bro, sit there for a half hour with your eyes closed.
Mm-hmm. That's not always easy.
That's not hard.
Mm-hmm. And when
it's not easy.
Even with when even in people in the best circumstances, when they're praying to God and praying, and you're just kind of like, okay, distractions are all around. Your dog is sitting on your feet, as you say, and all that kind of stuff. And so you're just kind of like, okay, to be able to focus and have that, that conversation within yourself or with God, and then there you go.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
It's wherever your focus is. Listen, it's in here. This is what I say. you weigh a body who's alive, and you weigh a body who is deceased. It weighs the same. So,
Mhm.
what is the thing that made this thing alive?
Right. Right.
Well, it clearly don't weigh nothing. Clearly, you can't go in there and get it. So that's what begin. That's the start of the road for a cat like me.
Hmm.
Like, what is that, and what does that mean? In a lot of ways, sitting and focusing on my breath, or a mantra, or some not music, but orchestrated sounds
Okay.
really just help get me more familiar with what I feel like.
Hmm.
So when things are happening and I don't like those things, I'm like, man, like, yeah, I'm gonna still, man, but I'm able to have another set of thoughts behind it or in it. Or, sometimes I'm able to be like, hey, stop that, do
Hmm.
something else. And I have enough will to do something else. Sometimes you're just man, and then it's just what it is. Um,
Right.
I'm being more long-winded about this because I say it's simple, but it's not easy, and it's not a panacea. So it's not a thing that is going to cure everything all the time, all the way.
Hmm.
Child, have you just tried this thing? However, it is a component to wellness that I think is underused in society in general.
Hmm.
It- but if you have a serious illness, it would behoove you to develop the habit of sitting down with your eyes closed for a half hour, once in the morning, like, once in the evening.
I get it. I get it. Prayer is essential. We got that. Thank you. Thank you,
Like
Damien.
prayer, okay? Like,
Hmm.
you have to.
Yeah. Push everything else
And
down. Focus.
where are you going? What is the thing right here, right now?
Right.
Um, I've got a lot of Reverend Ike in my head, so
Mhm.
like, I I could have already just been like, making jokes, and God is the voice in me, like right here, right now, like that type of, man, I got a lot of Reverend Ike in my voice. So all I'm saying is that communion, prayer, meditation, being able to remove outside stimuli, and and focus on one thing. Is it your breath?
Mhm.
Is it a thought? Is it an ideal? Is it a thing, a person, or whatever?
Right. You're frozen.
No, no, I'm still. That's it.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, like it's just one, you're just a frozen image right here. That's okay. We are going to um talk about, or if you're still here with me, we can just talk about your how they can get in touch with you, what avenues you use, YouTube, what's your YouTube channel, and stuff like that.
Okie dokie. Oh man, I'm just. Hopefully, do you hear me talking?
I can hear you talking, but that's it. You're just kind of like this in the video.
Done. That works. My website, DamianWashington.com. My YouTube channel, YouTube.com/ no stress MS. I had to
No.
make it rhyme. Of course,
Mhm.
MS is stressful for sure, but I had to make a little pitch thing to be like, yeah, just go to YouTube, no stress.ms. Holla at your boy. That's
All
it.
right. That's wonderful. Damian Washington, everyone. Thank you, Damian, for being my guest and talking to us about how you stay positive, even during this time and even with MS. We appreciate you being a guest on the Christina Nelson Show. We do have people who motivate, inspire, and heal. Any last words, Damian? If we can still hear you. Okay.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you. I appreciate the work that you do and how you are sharing your light with everyone who works to see it. And my final words is you work to be your best self right here, right now. And if that means that you are different than something you've always known yourself to be, then that's what it is.
Mm. All right. Well, thank you, Damian, once again. Okay.
Thank you, Christina Nelson, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Don't talk about it, be about it. Okay. Thank
All
you. Take
righty
it
then.
easy. Good day.
You have a wonderful night, and everyone else, thank you. You have a great night as well. Thank you for watching the Christina Nelson Show with my guest, Damian Washington. Thank you for being always here for us, and we thank you, and I thank you. Everyone, God bless you, and have a wonderful, wonderful night.
Joy. Joy. God bless.
God bless.